Manny is staring at me. Come here. I've been working all morning. Manny's staring at me like, you're not gonna see me before you do whatever this is. For those of you who watch my videos regularly and wonder what the snoring noise is in the background, it is the world's loudest dog. He is a mix between a Frenchie and a pug, and he is very needy. Right, but oh, he's just come. He's come. He's come to sit next to me. Okay, hi. Yeah, I know. So he's going to be in the background. There's not a lot I can do about it. He's going to be snoring away, snuffling away in the background. So hopefully that doesn't bother anybody, but if it does, not a lot I can do. It's his house too. I've also got hair everywhere now. He sheds like nothing else. It's insane. Apparently pugs have got 2 coats, and because he's a mix, I feel like he's got 3. So anyway, I thought I might start something new. Occasionally, something will come up in the comments, like a question or a comment that makes me think, oh, that could be a video. I could make a video just about that topic. But I don't necessarily just want to do kind of sitting, talking head kind of stuff. And a lot of the kind of get ready with me videos that I make, I feel are a bit blah. And so why not put the 2 together? So we're going to have occasional videos that will hopefully be quite short, because it's just going to be like one topic or one question. Although knowing me, it's probably going to be 15 minutes minimum. And we'll talk about whatever that is while I'm doing my makeup to film whatever video I'm planning on filming. So today we are starting that with, is budget beauty actually costing you more long term? And obviously my opinion from a blogging perspective, a YouTube perspective, a reviewer's perspective is going to be different from yours. But I'm just going to give Manny a little cod, and then we're going to get into the makeup and I'm going to start chatting. Right, it seems like he wants to stay with us, but I did have to also go and wash my hands. So I'm going to start with the MUA Pro Base. I swear I've got his hair in my mouth. Softening Facial Oil Stick. This is one of my favourite primers when he looks like he's genuinely interested, when my skin is kind of a little bit dehydrated or dry. Just really, really nice to have. I'm quite oily anyway, but I have areas occasionally where I've got like a little bit of dryness, and when I put on foundation, it kind of clings. And what I really like about this is it kind of puts down that layer, and it makes it so that the foundations that I'm using don't do those things. They always look kind of a little bit nicer. Now I am actually going to use something I really like anyway, which is No. 7 Stay Perfect Foundation. I already really like the finish of this. The colour I've got is Calico. It's Calico, Manny. Oh no, I think I'm running out. This would be a nightmare. And this probably didn't desperately need that primer, but I definitely have foundation and base products that kind of, they just are a little bit drier, and that primer is really, really nice for it. So, getting into the topic. I personally, I've kind of gone back and forth over this, and as you guys know, I don't think with a lot of things you get what you pay for. I think a lot of the time you're paying for the experience, the packaging, or the name, whatever it might be, which is fine. I mean, I love an expensive handbag as and when I can afford one, and I can't in good conscience tell you that any of those handbags are like worth the cost. Fair enough, some outlandish ones are like handmade and whatever, but most of the time you are paying for the packaging, the service, the experience of purchasing it, or the brand. You're paying for things that aren't actually related to worth. The value is in a different area. And with makeup, it's exactly the same thing. There are, of course, certain brands that have amazing ingredients, or, you know, they're better for you, or potentially they are better for us in general. They're more sustainable or whatever. But in terms of like what they do, what they provide, how they compare with cheaper products, a lot of the time you can get something very, very nice, very, very similar for a lot less money. Concealer I'm using is the Instant Age Rewind from Maybelline, which I've gone back to recently and completely, I don't know why I ever stopped using it. He wants to smell, he's got a thing about makeup. When I'm wearing makeup, which is less and less frequent these days, he wants to smell my face. So there must be a decent amount of fragrance in a lot of the stuff that I wear. The problem with, like, is it actually costing you more money, I think comes down to when you are so stuck on it has to be below a certain amount of money. So let's say, for example, you found a foundation and it's £30, and It's the most amazing foundation in the world. It works, it does everything that you want it to do, performs in exactly the way that you want it to perform. It's just like your all-time perfect foundation. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I really don't want to spend £30 on a foundation. And so you're kind of ever looking for a dupe. You're forever trying new things, trying to find a cheaper alternative. Then, of course, just because of the false economy of it all, you're buying more things, trying to find something that you already had. You're going to spend way more than £30 looking for a dupe for that £30 foundation. Now, maybe one day you'll find it, and so down the line it might save you some money. But in that situation, then, of course, it could be costing you money if you are always in search of something cheaper. I actually have a powder. I don't think I'm going to wear a powder. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we will. I am going to wear this. Oh, it smells amazing. This is the Butter Bronzer from, what is the brand? Physicians Formula. I got this from Boots. I got it from Boots. You'll like this because it smells really nice. It smells like holidays. It smells like sun cream. It's, oh, amazing. Like coconutty and beautiful. So yeah, I get this question a lot. And whenever I talk about like wanting to find something that's a cheaper version or a cheaper dupe, like there's been a couple of things recently that I've said, oh, these are my absolute favorite things. And I desperately want to find a cheaper alternative, not just for me, most of all for you guys, because I want to be able to say, look, I love this, but I know what you come to expect of me. Oh, he's bored now. And I want to be able to deliver that. I want to be able to tell you, this is the cheapest version of this, and this is just as good. Now, I have spent in the past an inordinate amount of money trying to find those dupes, when of course, I've already found the thing that works for me, and if I just bought that one thing, if it was just me I was thinking of, again, absolutely I've spent more money looking for the budget beauty alternative. Whereas if you find a lip gloss, and that lip gloss lasts you for 6 months, even if it was £30 every 6 months versus, you know, constantly buying cheaper lip glosses because you're always looking for something that works or that does this amazing thing that is so elusive. For me, there are certain products, like lip products, that I don't mind spending a little bit more money on because when I find something that works really, really well, if it was just me and my face I was worried about, if I wasn't reviewing it, then it would just be a matter of, well, this is amazing and this is going to last me till it's out, which would be months and months and months. I'm going to do a lot on my eyes. I'm going to do this brow pencil from Lacura, it's the Aldi one, just to kind of fill them in a little bit because I am finding that they're fading just a touch, and if I'm putting on actual proper makeup, I do think that I need to define my eyebrows just a little bit more. But having them microbladed, I mean, number one, has been amazing because of lockdown, and I haven't had to worry about them at all. But it also creates this like stencil so I can just fill them in a little bit as I go. So obviously, they're like whenever someone makes a comment about, well, you know, budget is, what's the word I'm looking for? Relative. Of course it is, but we all know what we mean when we say budget beauty. We're talking affordable, inexpensive beauty. And although, you know, something might fall into a category of more affordable because it's more product or it lasts you a long time or whatever, we all want to think that we're getting a good deal and we all love a bargain. So I get a lot of questions that kind of, they will either be surrounding something being too expensive that I'm talking about, or they will be defending me talking about something that is more expensive than you would imagine because of this false economy thing. And I kind of want to put it to you that neither is right, because I have tried so many things from the drugstore, so many like under £10 makeup items that are really, really stellar, comparable if not better than very expensive things, because again, you don't have the packaging, the brand, the whatever it is, the experience of buying it in a beauty haul. In some instances, you really are only paying for those things. So I feel like if you buy a lip gloss and it was £5, £10, whatever, and you're really, really happy with it, I don't feel like you should be thinking, well, this is a cheap lip gloss, it's not as good, or always kind of lusting after the more expensive one, because it's quite possible that you found the one that is perfect for you. Speaking of lips, my lips are super dry right now. This is the lip definer from H&M in Masala. I don't know if you could still get this, but it's like a muted red and it goes quite nicely. Maybe not, this might be a little bit too pale, but I think it might work quite nicely with the lip that I'm gonna wear from Glossier. I do overdraw my lips just a little bit. Ooh, oh my goodness, what on earth happened there? Oh no, this has like come out of its tube, that's why. Okay, this is the Glossier Generation Blotted Lip in Zip, and I love this. It's like a slightly translucent matte lip. Oh, it does go quite nicely. And without, I mean, you can kind of like smear it around a little bit, smudge it around your lips for like a real blotted look, but I do prefer it with a lip liner because there's something about it that's very kind of daytime red. So I guess the answer in terms of like from my perspective, because it is going to be different from the average person, is I'm prepared to put in the money and the time to find the cheaper products so that you guys don't have to. That's kind of the whole point of this. And so when people point out that it does make more sense, like if I found something that works, it does make more sense to kind of not continue to look for those items that would be cheaper. For the average person, I completely agree, that is a false economy, and budget beauty will end up like costing you more money because you're forever spending money looking for a cheaper version rather than just making your peace with the fact that the foundation you love is £30. I mean, they last for long enough. I personally am okay with that, unless I was like going through them like once a month. However, the whole purpose of this kind of channel for me is that we are putting in the legwork and we are trying out these products and comparing them to higher end products so that we can tell you whether or not, is this really worth this? Because it's one thing for it to be something I love and would recommend, which again, I'm going to go back to the lip gloss, the Dior Lip Maximizer. I love it. I think if you buy it, you will love it too. It's nothing even special, but it's just, there's something about it that I really, really enjoy. And I haven't found another lip gloss on the high street that does the same kind of thing. It kind of just like, it works really nicely for me. It like smooths everything out. It's just slightly milky. I love the smell of it. I love the packaging of it. It's kind of a little bit bougie, but it lasts forever for me. And I will repurchase that again, but I have been on the lookout for a cheaper version. And it's difficult to find. Like right now, lip glosses are making a comeback, so I'm hopeful that I'll be able to find a cheaper version in the not too distant future. But the only reason I'm looking for that is for you guys, because I would happily repurchase that probably once a year the way that I use it for the rest of my life, because I really like it. It does the job. But, and I get that sometimes people are kind of trying to defend me, which I understand. I mean, it's not like we get a lot of people arguing in the comments or anything, but whenever I talk about something that is expensive, I do feel that I need to kind of disclaim a little bit. And most of the time when I'm talking about something expensive, it's either, look, I really, really love this, and I'm sure you can get something cheaper. I'm looking for something cheaper, but I do really love this. And if you're feeling like you want to splurge on something, I would recommend this. But also I need to try the more expensive items to be able to compare them with the cheaper ones, to tell you that the cheaper ones are as good as the more expensive ones. And so the people that are kind of chipping in with maybe, well, it's a false economy to buy the cheap ones in the first place, I think partly are trying to kind of be on my side, which is not necessary. I completely appreciate it, but it's not necessary because this is a budget beauty channel. This is what this is for. So anyone expecting something cheaper is completely within the rights to expect that, because that's what I've set you up for. But also, I've talked a lot about saving money, not buying things specifically for videos, and like trying not to have a huge makeup collection, trying to have kind of more of a reasonable, realistic makeup collection. So it's difficult then to kind of try to explain, but this is literally what I'm trying to do. I still need to try products to recommend them to you guys. I'm still always looking for dupes, but it's kind of hard to reconcile those two things together. It's hard to kind of balance that, and that's for me. But I kind of just wanted to put it out there because it's something that's come up quite a lot over the years, especially recently, where people have said, you know, looking for dupes or looking for cheaper products ends up costing you more money. And I'm kind of on both sides of that. By the way, this is the Prymaat Dramatic Lash. It's really nice for like lengthening and separating, but also quite soft lashes. It's a really kind of natural look. I enjoy it. Yeah, I can see both sides of the argument, but from my perspective, I need to try as many products as possible to kind of compare these things for you guys. However, if I was one person with one face, not reviewing, this sounds like I have multiple faces, not reviewing for other people and not trying to compare these things, then once I found something that works, I would just stick with it. I potentially, if it was really expensive and I was going through it very often, I potentially would look to other reviewers to find cheaper alternatives, which I definitely have done in the past. But if it's something that lasts me a long time, occasionally I am kind of okay with something being expensive. Actually, I'm going to use it. It's super warm right now. I thought I already had it out. Maybe it's behind the mirror. I've got it. It's the Morph setting powder. Setting spray, sorry. I'm so warm. It's like really crazy humid. Oh, that was blissful. Yeah, I see both sides of that argument. I completely understand why it's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's not the same in the fast fashion sense because obviously there's a lot more waste involved with that, but not a million miles away. People that are like churning out palettes, like lower cost brands that are just like constant launches. I mean, even higher end, like Too Faced is constant as well. But I can see why people are kind of trying to pare it back and they're trying to kind of justify more luxury items, like me saying to you, well, if you buy one designer leather handbag, it's going to last you so much longer than like 15 from Prymaat. Yeah, of course, but that's not within everybody's budgets and it's not necessarily the only option. You can still get a whole makeup bag full of amazing drugstore priced makeup items that are going to last you for months and months and months, that you're never going to need anything better, more expensive, to replace it with. That you're not necessarily you're not getting like a lower level of something because it's a lower cost. You're just buying something that works for you. It's not that, oh, this is all I can afford. It's that this works and this is all I need. I don't need to upgrade to something more expensive. Whereas I think there are kind of just two schools of thought when it comes to a lot of different things, in that if it's cheap, it's not as effective, and we'll never be prepared to say that this is as good. It's always going to be that this is like that. This, let's say, mascara is a stepping stone to buying a more expensive mascara. Most expensive mascaras that I've used, I'm not keen on at all. Maybelline make my favorites. This is currently like really, it's not my favorite, because my favorite is still Lash Sensational from Maybelline. This is a close second. It's a different look. And this is from Prymaat, and I'm happy with it. And if you had given me this and told me it was Lancome, I would have been less happy with it because it would have been more expensive. It would have looked the same, but my kind of mindset is always a little bit cheaper is a little bit better. And I don't think that budget beauty costs you more overall, providing you put in the research, you find the right stuff. However, if you found something that already works for you and it is affordable for you, just continue to buy that thing, you know? I don't know how you guys feel about it. It was just something that had come up a few times and I had it written down as like a topic or like a question for a Q&A, and I thought, well, we'll talk about it while I get ready. So I'm interested to see what you guys think about it. Like, when you buy cheap makeup, are you thinking, well, this is all I can afford? Or are you thinking this works amazingly and I have no interest in buying something more expensive in the future? Does it feel like a dupe? Do you feel like when you buy a L'Oreal, which to be fair is not even that cheap, but when you buy like a L'Oreal or a Maybelline or a Revlon or a whatever, a number 7, again, not that cheap, foundation, do you feel like you'll have this now and in the future, maybe one day you'll have a whatever foundation? Do you have that in your mind, or is it just, do you get a kick out of buying things that are like more affordable as well? Is it just that you're looking for something that works and it doesn't matter what the cost is? I want to know. And let me know whether or not you enjoyed this kind of video. It's just kind of like a different idea. I thought it might be fun to kind of have a little chat while I'm doing my makeup about something specific that you guys have brought up. But if you would like to hear me talk about something else, another topic, if you've got a question for me to answer, and you enjoyed this format, let me know, and I will add it to my list. I already have a few. And yeah, I'm going to leave you now, and I'm going to film the other video, which will have already gone up, which is 5 budget beauty items that I've really enjoyed during lockdown.